Hello, Verna.
Detective, you didn't tell me you were dropping by.
Well, we wanted to share the news with you in person.
What news? Is this about David? You found him.
The Luddites had him. It wasn't easy. I barely got out of there alive. As for David, well, this is what's left of him.
My God, what happened?
Unfortunately, David suffered grievous injuries at the hands of the Luddites. He became inoperant soon after we rescued him.
But not before we were able to get a testimony out of him.
Testimony?
Drop the act, sweetheart. It was you. You were under our nose this entire time.
Excuse me?
David told us everything. This brothel of yours is nothing but a fancy decoy, isn't that right? Your real trade isn't sex, it's information. The things that your clients let slip while they're tussling between the sheets. You gather this city's secrets with the help of the automatons you control, and you exploit it to your own advantage. It's how you keep your finger on the pulse of this city. It's how you blackmailed Henry Avery with tax fraud.
Why didn't you just give them what they wanted, Henry?
Henry, don't! David wanted to run away with Madeline, but you couldn't let him do that. He's far too valuable an asset to you, not to mention all the dirt he's got on your little operation here. So you looked to get rid of Madeline. And who better to do that for you than David himself?
That's ridiculous. How could I possibly get David to do that?
David told us you have a way of control. Some means of influencing the Automs to act against their will. Tell me it's not true. Tell me that after David killed Madeline, you weren't planning on blackmailing him into staying. Tell me that you wanted to find David because you actually cared about another goddamn person and not just to cover your own ass.
It's not true. I told you before, David didn't kill Madeline.
No?
No. It was Carl.
Carl. The hell you mean, Carl?
I don't remember.
No. Perhaps this will jog your memory.
What? Carl? No, Carl!
You see, it's in the music. Usually nothing more than a simple control melody to keep my Bettys in order and the patrons happy. But for David, I had to use something more specific, something more aggressive. Unfortunately, music only has a certain range. I didn't expect David to develop an immunity for it. But there was Carl, standing right on the other side of the door, spying for you, wasn't he? Oh, David! When I found him, he hadn't remembered anything he'd done, just like he won't remember any of this either. Think about that, Sam. I have to thank you. You've made this easy for me. I was worried David would squawk, but it looks like you've helped me with that problem, too. It's too bad. They'll have to flash Carl for killing both you and Madeline. He would have made a fine escort. Sweet dreams, Detective.
Did you get all that? Please tell me you got all that. Are you recording, right?
Constantly.
I don't understand.
Hell of a grip, Carl. Thanks for the evidence, Verna. I'm sure the boys down at the station will get a real kick out of it.
How?
David taught Carl his little immunity trick. Isn't that right, David? We knew it was Carl the whole time. We figured you might try something, so we decided to play it close to the vest. Face it, Verna, it's over. The jig is up.
Girls! Help me! Girls!
Hands up. Or the next sound you hear ain't gonna be jazz.
Officer, I assure you, that device standing right there is responsible.
Sure he is, lady. Tell it to the judge.
So what am I supposed to do with this?
It's evidence. Something on that record that affects automatons. Pass it up the chain as high as it'll go.
Remember when the world used to be a simpler place? A little robbery, a little murder. Just murder. All this techno mumbo-jumbo. I get this to someone who knows better.
We'll need to patch David up before we come down to the station.
You know where to find me.
You all right there, Carl?
I'm all right. I just can't believe we were looking for me this whole time.
Ain't you supposed to be, you know, self-aware?
The irony's not lost on me. I am a murderer, Detective Regal.
That wasn't you, Carl. We've all done things we ain't proud of. That's just living. What you did, you don't have to be who you are.
Then who am I, Sam?
You're better than most, Carl. What's he saying now?
David recommends we find him a new body soon. He has several suggestions.
Oh, yeah? Where's a body go to find a body?
There are a few places in Silverside with the necessary equipment.
Silverside? Damn, Carl, you trying to get me killed?
My first attempt failed.
You got a lot of moxie for a robot, you know that? Does that come standard? Is that a Swanji thing or what?
I compare favorably in the Moxie department.
Yeah, I bet you do. All right, let's make it snappy. This body ain't gonna find itself.